Hello, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time here. My name's Andy, the Suffolk Audiophile, and today we're just going to be looking at a few records that I've acquired over the last few weeks, over the Christmas period and since Christmas. So without further ado, let's crack on with this. So the first one was a Christmas present from my dear wife, and this one is an interesting one. This is Nirvana's Nevermind. This is the 30th anniversary. This is the one with the free single that you get. We've got Endless Nameless, Even in His Youth, and Aneurysm on the free single. The whole thing was mastered and cut by Ryan K. Smith, that's Sterling Sound. It's from digital files, we know that. There's no secret around that. I do have the Bernie Grundman remaster, which was cut from tape. So in a few weeks' time I may do an A/B test and a shootout video between this and the Bernie Grundman remaster, just to see if there's any major differences. If you go by what Mike Esposito at the In-Groove says, this is not as good. So I'm gonna sort of keep my opinions to myself really until I've compared the two. I've not heard them back to back, so this does sound good, but I haven't heard it against the Bernie Grundman one. So yeah, Nevermind, the 30th anniversary. This comes in a really good Staunton type tip-on jacket. I don't know if it's made by Staunton, but it is really heavy duty card. It's a really good package, and I do think they missed the boat on this. I think it would have been a good opportunity for them to recut, to redo the stampers from the original Grundman metalwork, if they're still available, and make it an analogue record, but they didn't. They thought they'd go back, remaster it from digital files and recut it, which is fine, I suppose. For the casual listener, that sort of thing is okay. But when you're packaging it in a really high quality package like this, tip-on jacket, extra single, gatefold slit, it's absolutely a lovely, record. And they go and sort of skimp, I think, by putting the digital version in there. But hey ho, never mind. So the next one was a bit of a punt, and this is a new record to me, and that is Vintage Violence by John Cale. Now, I'm a huge Velvet Underground fan, so I thought, well, I've got a few Lou Reed records. It makes only sense to get a few John Cale records. I didn't have any. I do intend to get Songs for Drella, which is the record that he did with Lou Reed. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to start with John Cale's first solo effort, Vintage Violence. It was a total punt, I've never heard it before. So, what did I think of this? Well, if you're expecting the Velvet Underground or avant-garde, this isn't going to be for you. This is as disconnected from that genre of music as you could possibly get. I mean, the album cover sort of defeats what's in it. It sort of masks what the music is inside it. It's really very late 60s, early 70s accessible pop. There's influences of the Byrds, influences of the Beatles. There is a few good standout tracks on this, to be fair. Let's see. There's the last track on side 2, which I really liked, which is called Fairweather Friend. Fairweather Friend, Charlemagne, which is not bad. Bring It On, Amsterdam, Ghost Story, and on the other side you've got, oh, this is side 1 now, you've got Hello There, Gideon's Bible, Adelaide, Big White Cloud, Cleo, and Please. Like I said, it's not what I was expecting. I thought, we're going to get violas all over the place, throbbing Hammond organs and stuff like that, but no. This is totally in the opposite direction to what you would expect Cale to go in. I think the reason for that is because he was trying to forge his own career and he wanted to make himself more accessible to the masses, so that's why he done this. If he had come out with a full-on avant-garde record from the get-go, I think it probably would have alienated a lot of people. So I can understand why he done it. I would give this a good 6 or 7 out of 10. You know, it's an average record by him. I wouldn't say it's one of his best. It's good though, it's accessible, it's easy on the ear, it's not really offensive in any way, not in the way that the Velvet Underground and Nico was. You know, that was really offensive in some places, not just, you know, lyrically, but also musically offensive. It was really jarring in parts, but this is sweet. So the next record I got is this is an OG pressing. This is on the Virgin Records label, and it is Heaven 17, Penthouse and Pavement. Now this has got a lot, I got this really for two reasons. One, I really like the title track of this, and there's a couple of other tracks on here I really like, although I didn't know their names. I've got a lot of good memories of this record, of sitting around my mates' house. We used to, me and a few of my mates used to congregate round my friend's house, and one of our mates, we used to bring records, and one of our mates used to bring this. We used to put it on. I never owned it back in the day, but when I started recollecting vinyl 4 or 5 years ago, I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy that. This is really reasonably priced. I think this cost me about £15 in near mint condition, and it is in pretty damn near mint condition. Let me show you. I mean, there's very little, if any, spindle marks on that record. Really, really clean, and it sounds phenomenal. It's all analogue, as you would expect, 1981. Glenn Gregory, Martin Ware, and I can't think of the other guy's name. Obviously, the other guy and Martin Ware, ex-Human League. I'm looking at getting the first 2 or 3 Human League albums from the late 70s, before they did Dare. I think Reproduction was one. Some of the early Human League is really good actually, so I'm thinking about getting that anyway. But yeah, Penthouse and Pavement, this is a really good record. There's some cracking bass playing on this as well. I don't know the guy's name. He is credited on the inner sleeve, but yeah, absolutely brilliant funk, you know, bass playing on this. Really good. But yeah, a Penthouse and Pavement. This was before Temptation and all of the before they sort of made it big. This was their first debut album. BEF, British Electric Foundation, is a company that they formed, a bit like Apple Records, I guess. They just wanted to have a vehicle for local Sheffield-based electronic bands, and this was one of the first releases on BEF. So yeah, Penthouse and Pavement, excellent. Now we've got one of a grail that I've been after for a while, but it's not the one I really wanted, but I've got it anyway, and I'm absolutely staggered by this. The quality of this is absolutely brilliant, and that's Rattus Norvegicus, the first album by the Stranglers. Now, there's 2 versions of this. The first, I think it was the first 15,000 press, had a green stripe up here saying free single inside, and you got a free single with I think it was Choosy Susie. I can't remember what was on the other side. I'm sure it was Choosy Susie, but they go for a hell of a lot of money now. I mean, you don't get much change for about £180 to £200 for the limited edition version of this. it is possible to buy the single on its own, but you can't just put it with a copy of the record. It has to have the printed banner up there. It's very easy to see if someone's just taken a single and an album and put it together and said, oh, I've got the rare one. No, it don't work like that. So this is, when I got this was in, or still is, not was, this still is in absolutely astounding condition. Let me just show you that. Absolutely immaculate. There's very few spindle marks. The guy that I bought this off of, kudos to him, he's absolutely knocked it out of the park with the presentation. It actually came to me, that's how I got it, in a Japanese resealable sleeve with the record in a rice paper inner. It came to me in a rice paper inner. I normally use the MoFi ones. This is an unbranded one, but that came. And there's the jacket, and it came with the original inner sleeve inside. The only thing wrong with this is the inner sleeve has a crease in it somewhere. And I can't even see it now. Oh, there it is. The inner sleeve has got a crease in the corner, and that is it. But you know what? I don't care. We don't put records in inner sleeves anymore because we know they scratch records. So, but I was absolutely flabbergasted when I got this, and the guy's presentation, you know, I've said it once and I'll say it again. You know, I paid £25 for this, and it's in immaculate condition. It's near mint with a VG to VG plus jacket because of the crease in the inner sleeve. The difference between that and this piece of shit, I've still got it, and you know what? I'm going to keep it and drag it out every time I want to rant about Discogs. That's what I'm going to do. This is how you should present your records when you're sending them through the post. You don't put the record in the sleeve. You put it outside the sleeve. If you haven't got a rice paper, use a polyline inner. It's not difficult, is it really? It avoids seam splits, and you just put that in your mailer and it's good to go. It's all protected, lovely. But this is a great record. I've been after this for a while. I was looking for the one with the free single, but you know, they're really expensive, and I'm a fan of the Stranglers, but my fandom of the Stranglers doesn't stretch to £200. No. So I got this one for £25, because guess what? It's exactly the same record. It's exactly the same stampers. A1B1, I think. But yeah, absolutely brilliant, and it sounds phenomenal. Great. So the ongoing saga of me buying the James Bond movie soundtracks, and I acquired another one over the last couple of weeks. Actually, last week this arrived, and I have got The Man with the Golden Gun. You see, I'm trying to get the cheaper ones first. I've noticed that the 60s Connery ones and the George Lazenby on Her Majesty's Secret Service really expensive. But the 70s and 80s Roger Moore ones are fairly reasonably priced. I think this comes to about £20, and this is an original first pressing, obviously, because you can't get them no more. It's got Lulu on it, you know, The Man with the Golden Gun. This isn't the best soundtrack out there by any stretch of the imagination for Bond films. Out of the three that I have now, the best soundtrack I still have is You Only Live Twice. Is brilliant. Now, the reproduction of that with Nancy Sinatra singing the title track is absolutely brilliant on my system. This is okay, you know, it's 70s. It's the 70s. So this was 74. So this come out. This is his second. This is Roger Moore's second Bond film. But this came in really good nick as well. You know, I don't think people buy these and play them endlessly, do they? So, you know, it's in really good condition. Very few pops and clicks on it. It just needed a clean. The sleeve is in okay condition. I'd say it's VG, not VG plus, but it's VG. You know, it's a little bit brown age, but it's still in good nick. It came with the original white paper inner. I've kept that. I've put that inside the sleeve and put it in a rice paper sleeve. But yeah, the man with the golden gun. Right, this next one I purchased from a company called Esprit International Limited. It's the first time I've dealt with EIL. They come up on my Facebook feed all the time as a rare record reseller. They buy records from all over the world and they sell them on, basically. They're based in this country. It's a bit of a cottage industry. It's run by a small team of people. They've been going for years, and you know, I've never used them before, but I can tell you now I'm going to use them again. I bought this from them again. It was on a punt and I was absolutely staggered. So the Smiths Hatful of Hollow. I've been after this for quite a while. This is an original first pressing on the Rough Trade label. I paid £25 for this. This is a gatefold, but a bit like the Stranglers. This come packaged really well. This is exactly how it was sent through the post. Exactly. I've not touched it. It came in a MoFi sleeve. You know, it came in a MoFi. Oh no, sorry. It came in an unbranded, but I've put it in a MoFi, I think. Yeah, can't remember. But it did come in a rice paper sleeve, regardless. This is in fantastic condition. They graded it as VG plus 2 near mint. I would suggest that's a near mint record. It's got very few, if any, spindle marks. And it sounds glorious. As you know, Hatful of Hollow is a compilation album of sessions that the Smiths did for the John Peel show and the David Jensen show back in the day. So these are not the original recorded versions, these are session versions basically. I'm not an uber Smiths fan. To this day I don't like Morrissey. I think he's up his own backside. But I do like Johnny Marr, I do like the Smiths. But I like the Smiths in sort of small eatable chunks. I couldn't eat a whole one, you know. This, to me, I had this on cassette back in the 80s. Someone got me it, gave it to me on cassette, an original cassette version of it. And I must admit, I had it in my car for quite a while, played it relentlessly in my car because I did love it. I did really like this particular record. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy a Hatful of Hollow because I like it. I know I like it. Am I going to buy all the other Smiths records? Probably not. I might buy Meat is Murder, which is a classic album, but I'm not going to go out of my way to buy them all. I'm not, like I say, I'm not an uber Smiths fan, but I do like this record, and I like the versions of the different songs on this. It's got a hand in glove on it. What difference does it make, William? It was really nothing. Heaven knows I'm miserable now. Yeah, it's got some really good stuff on here actually. But yeah, the Smiths Hatful of Hollow. And that is it for this week. I'm going to be doing a shootout video next week, so keep your eyes open for that one. It's going to be a biggie. And so yeah, keep your eyes open for that one. Until then, I'll bid you farewell and I'll see you next week. Cheers. Bye bye now.